Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Enrique Montano, and I'm here for the Real Fight Girl and Auténtico Films. I'm here with Chris, the Heat Van Heerden.
Van Heerden.
Van
Heerden.
Heerden. I'm usually
Heerden.
pretty good at rolling my R's because I'm Mexican, but it's difficult when you have, that accent.
Van Heerden, yeah.
Thanks for having me, man.
What a pleasure.
I'm gonna jump quickly into this. I can't say I know a lot about you, but I know enough. One of the things that I find very inspiring is the fact that, even through all your trials and tribulations, you are where you are now. I know you spoke about recently about being a top rank athlete. That was your dream, your father's
Dream and
dream.
vision as a kid.
And so can you please speak about, let's start right ahead with vision, from growing up all the way into your position here.
Yes, sir. Born and raised in South Africa, one of 13 kids. I've got 6 sisters with 7 boys. My father was a professional fighter back in the 80s. I grew up in South Africa and in Johannesburg, and it was a very tough upbringing. And when I said tough upbringing, it was one of those upbringings where you needed to learn how to protect yourself, defend yourself, and fight yourself out of trouble. And at a very young age, my dad introduced me to boxing. I didn't want to do it, man. It wasn't my passion. I like to say that I was a ladies' man, but also I was a very shy kid. And fighting wasn't in my background. My brothers were all phenomenal athletes when it came to fighting. They all had that aggression. I didn't. So I grew up with my dad introducing me to boxing, forcing me to do boxing.
Yeah.
And as life can...
what was it that you liked doing instead of boxing?
No, I was just,
were a ladies' man, like you said.
Yeah, and I was good in school. I wanted to become an accountant. That's what I wanted to become. I wanted to become an accountant. I thought I'm going to be going to college and then study to become an accountant. That was my mindset while I was in school. And obviously, I'm doing it my whole life. I started boxing when I was 6 years old. You start as a kid, you start having dreams, And growing up in South Africa, what I'm living right now in America, in Hollywood, in California, this is the type of things I only saw on television. Growing up. So to me, it was a world beyond my reach. It was like, wow, it's unreal. But eventually, you see Vegas and you see Freddie Roach with Manny Pacquiao fighting in Vegas, and I started dreaming about me fighting in Vegas. I was like, one day I want to be there. One day I want to be there. And come 18 years old, I was ready to quit boxing and become an accountant. And my dad opened up to me. My dad's my best friend, was and will always be. We were like this, inseparable. We shared everything together, like secrets, and he knows things about me and I know things about him. That father and son, that's the relationship we had. And my dad opened up to me, and only when my dad opened up to me at the age of 18, I fell in love with the sport of boxing. And I had this vision. I saw Freddie Roach, Manny Pacquiao on television, and I asked my dad, I said, Dad, do you think I can get there? And my dad said, yes. He said, absolutely, you got to believe it. But you can do it. You have all the qualities and abilities to be there one. And that meant a lot to me, hearing it from my role model. My dad was my inspiration, my role model, the guy I looked up to. I wanted to be like my dad. And hearing it from him made me believe it. And then I started getting visions. I would vision myself in Madison Square Garden. I would vision myself with Freddie Roach, Vegas, and I'm all about vision. Vision drives me. And if I close my eyes, I can see what I see. I can see where I see myself in my boxing career, in my personal life. And as long as I have that, I'm a Christian. I'm a man of faith. I'm a believer. And I believe that's God playing out in my vision. He's playing out my life for me. And I believe that. And because of that vision, I wake up in the morning, because every morning I still have that vision. The day I stop having that vision, that's the day I will stop boxing, because then why am I doing it? But as long as I have it, that's what drives me, is vision.
I want to touch back on when you were 18. So you started when you were 6 all up until you were 18. What was it that you got to that point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore?
Just the whole aggression thing. I wasn't a fighter. I was scared. When it came to fighting, I was a scared kid that didn't want to fight.
Okay.
I would run away. I would hide. I would
the fear.
The fear of fighting, the fear of getting beat up, and just I didn't have that aggression, that passion to fight.
Do you also think there was a bit of fear of like disbelieving yourself? Because then you say your dad opens up when you ask him can I make it, and then he says yes, and I'm sure that
I knew I had something special because I had 97 amateur fights. I had 94 wins. 97, 94 wins. So I was winning. But my winning came because I was very scared of my dad because he was a very strict dad. And I wanted to be in his good books. I wanted to impress my dad. I wanted to keep him happy. So that's why I won.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't enjoy fighting, I would win only because I knew what would happen if I lose. Because my dad was one of those guys that was all about winning, which is a lot of people say, oh, that's bad.
Yeah.
But hey, for some people it's bad, for some people it worked. In my case, that's what motivated me. So I would win. So I had no lack of belief. I believe that I've got something. It's just boxing is a lonely sport. It's a very tough sport. It's a very hard sport, and I just didn't want to do it. Yeah. Like forever. I was like, I don't want to go through all this.
Yeah, of course. It's funny you, just in these brief moments right now, my dad was the same way. I started playing when I was 3, and I don't want to take up your camera time, but it's just so relatable because my father is the same way. You know, thankfully he's still with me. But I grew up and he was like, you better do this. There were some games where I would score 5 goals and he was like, why don't you score 6? That's it. I was like, God damn.
That's it.
So I was like, alright. So I got to a point like yourself when you were 18, I was 15 and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And he was like, you have to. And in Spanish he said, you have to because I've invested all my time in you and I believe in you. And that's when I was like, oh,
that's big, man.
Shit, like I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And then when you talk about vision, I was the same way. Once I got to high school and after high school I went to play college. And the same thing happened to me. I was like, well, I don't know if I want to do this for the rest of my life. And then I talked to my dad, I called him up. He's like, you can do it. You just got to put in the work and believe in yourself.
Believe.
And so it just happened. So I'm a big believer in vision as well. And, you know, funny enough, a year ago when I stopped playing soccer, I said, well, you know what? I want to do something with photography and video. I've always loved it.
Look at you now.
Look at me now. I'm sitting here with Chris, the Heath,
fun
Heerden.
Yeah, man. You know, it comes down to vision. But to have that vision, it comes down. You have to believe. You have to believe with everything.